Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the official Soligan here, back with Willy Graves. Super excited to share with you guys his story and everything like that. We're just going to be kind of going through some of the same questions and everything. Again, guys, sponsored by AMP. If you guys want to go follow them on Instagram, their handle is a minute past 8. Americate, but. It's a pleasure to have you, man. We just met today.
Oh yeah.
So,
it's good company, man. Good company.
But let's see. Oh my gosh, dude. I forgot to put Face ID back on this phone.
It's okay, bro. We got time.
So I know since I really haven't known you for as long as Enzo, kind of try to get a little bit more of your backstory. So what's your name?
So my real name is William Nixon. Stage name Willy Graves, which originally didn't even have a name. That's that rap generator type stuff. Cause
Gotcha.
It just really happened like that, man.
Gotcha. So is that just kind of like spur of the moment when you came up with that name, or is there like?
Literally, I was in the studio with Zoe, and he was like, "Bro, so what are they gonna call you?" I was like, "William, Willie, something like that." And he's like, "No, man, you need it like a stage name." And I was like, "All right." Got in the rap name generator, came up with like 4 different things, none of them fit, and I was like, you know what? I like Willy Graves. It's not too bad, not too flashy, not too bad. We can roll with that. Come on with that.
And there you go. That's super good. So, where are you from?
So originally from Salt Lake City, Utah, man. I'm originally from here. Grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and spent most of my time there. Went to college out there. Shout out Boomer Sooner. All that good stuff. And yeah, man, just kind of, I moved away from here when I was pretty young. I want to say about 8 or 9. Moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Totally different world, man. Living down there.
Gotcha. So you were here and then you moved there,
exactly.
And then you moved back. When did you end up moving back?
I moved back here. It'll be 5 years, June 15th, man.
5 years.
Yeah. So I just, everybody kind of moves around, has different reasons. Usually mine's family, because the family I grew up with is actually here in Utah. So.
Gotcha. Nice. And are you like a huge family-oriented person?
Yeah, man. My family is like, it's part of what keeps you grounded. You can have your friends, and your friends, you have friends that become family. That's just naturally how it happens.
Right.
But, you got to have that motivation. My motivation's always been my family, my mom. The memory of my mom, rest in peace. My mom, she passed away. That's actually the reason I moved from Oklahoma to here. Was my mom passed away, and I was like, you know what? Let's go back and be back to your family, man. Let's go back home.
Kind of be grounded back in the family. That makes sense. Awesome. So, what drew you into creating music?
I've always loved music, man. I remember when I was like a little kid, my mom used to tell me she put like a boom box next to her belly when I was, in the womb. So it was like I've always loved music. Anybody knows me, I'm always constantly singing. I had always wrote different stuff, just like Zoe. Originally, I got my start just writing poetry, and that's actually what my scholarship was for college. Nice. And it just kind of snowballed into that. But I had never, I got serious about music was about 7 or 8 months ago. And then from there, it was kind of like I linked up with Zoe. I've known him for about over 2 years now, and it just all kind of came together. It's like, man, let me try my hand at this. If you got something to say, why not?
Yeah.
I'm trying to spread that message. Music's always a great outlet to do that.
Gotcha. And is this like your first passion?
Absolutely. So my first passion is music. Behind that was sports and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy how me and Zoe's kind of like interest kind of shifted kind of naturally, just the same way. Like I started playing football, basketball, wrestled, stuff like that. And it just turned into, music's always been there. I think music is something that everybody can identify with. It's all, even that's a lot of artists pop off because somebody can identify the situation, what they're speaking on, and things like that. So that's always a positive. And like I said, music's always just been that thing that's always been there.
Right. Awesome. So I know that, along with, building your dream and stuff like that, like, is there kind of just like any, because, when I was speaking with Enzo, I wanted to be able to provide value to, everybody and just kind of show them like, following your dream like this, like it's not really something that everybody just starts out, full time doing. There's got to be some point where you got to do something to kind of help boost up this. So like, do you have like a day job or like any kind of like side gig that you just kind of do?
I'm under student loans. That's what I do on a daily basis.
Gotcha.
Like that's my 9 to 5. I'm there from 6 in the morning to like 2 in the afternoon every day, Monday through Friday. And student loans isn't easy in this country, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's my 9 to 5. Other than that, man, that pays the bills and everything else. When I'm done paying my bills, that's all I really care about. Everything else goes towards the music, man, the effort, the dedication towards it, and especially the funds.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So, what's your, future plan, kind of because like, I know that, you said that you've just only been really doing this for, not even really, for the past 12 months fully. So what are your plans kind of, where you want to, see yourself in the next, 6 months to a year, up to 5 years?
So number one as a project with me is it just started off with a couple different singles that I dropped. You can catch them all on all platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and it was dropping 2 singles. Fortunately, I have a great team and we've gotten together and we're all dropping different albums, EPs. Mine's going to be released November the 11th. That's the first thing. After that, it's kind of building off of that and getting a feel from, I guess, the feedback from the people. Based on that, is if we're gonna kind of maneuver around, you stay the course, of course.
Right.
But the fact is, it's kind of first finishing the EP, helping out the team, going from there, and then just kind of getting my name out there, man. It's just kind of getting out there. If it's by social media or whatever the case is, just getting the word out there that this man Willy Graves for real.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you kind of touched on what you're doing now to kind of hit the where you kind of want to go with that. So I know that kind of off camera we kind of talked about you guys having kind of a little bit of a different taste. Like what's your kind of like main genre that you're doing yourself to your own style, and through that what do you want that your legacy to be through that?
Number one is I want to use music as a platform to, first of all, enlighten the minds of people. Like it's so crazy how you can have a song that's like your favorite song that you identify with the moment in your life,
Right.
And it's just with music, since it's all inclusive, it's such a powerful thing. I want my legacy to be the fact that I've used this music to open other doors to help others as well. So it's music. It's, of course, like entrepreneurship, things like that. But it's using the platform of music to reach beyond my physical capabilities.
Right.
So it's just using that. I'm one of those dudes that wants to get into different foundations and help those from where I came from and just different experiences, like living in Oklahoma, to where it's a lot rougher because of the way that the town is set up in different parts of town. So I just want to use my music to reach people I can't reach physically, help those in the future. That's my number one goal. Of course, my family, number one. Family comes first.
Yeah.
Making sure they're good. I one day want to be the Johnson & Johnson. Want to be have that
capability to
exactly
provide
that generational wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's number one. That's the plan.
Gotcha. So I know that I asked Enzo the same question, with hip hop and rap kind of just getting that bad stigma, like in your own kind of words and like your own perspective, like what are you doing yourself to just kind of like push through that and create that positive impact?
Number one is just kind of remember the roots of where hip hop started. It started, think about like Curtis Blow, you think about the message, and that's what originally hip hop was. It was a message from the disenfranchised and helping people that sometimes they can help themselves, or just expression, just kind of mess up situations. With hip hop, it has its good and its bad.
Yeah.
But that's the anything, man. You know, yin and yang. It's all about balance. You know, you can't accept the good if you don't accept the evil as well. And you know, for me, I'm kind of you can call me a hip hop purist because I believe with the platform you're given that you should reach with that. Especially if you have the bigger hip hop artists that are bigger and they have that platform already. But you know, for all those who kind of take from the culture and don't, you know, give back to it, that can become a dangerous thing. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm a realist. I'm realistic, but I'm also hopeful that people will take the time to listen to the greats, listen to how great the messages are within the music, and not just take a lot of stuff at face value out of ignorance or just taboo factors when it comes to hip hop or rap.
Right.
Yeah.
So kind of like speaking about all of, you know, these things, like what does that just kind of, you know, all mean to you?
As far as what?
Just kind of like overall sense of like, you know, what's your, other than, you know, wanting to like make a positive impact, like is there just kind of like a reason just, you know, to, you know, prove something to yourself, or, you know, just
I think that goes along with
like what that, you know, personally means to you?
Yeah, that goes along with it because, you know, I'll be honest, you know, I've always had dreams when it comes to music. I don't think that's ever not been the case. I just needed to take myself more seriously. And it was like, I can even tell you the instance where I actually just kind of clicked and was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's stop talking about it. Let's stop thinking, oh, well, I'm better than this. I could do that. Actually do it. Little my cousin, who was like, I think he's 17, came home. I don't remember who he was listening to. It was somebody. And I was like, man, they're trash. And he was like, well, we start doing that. These people are listening to them. We start making music. And it clicked for me. It's like, even if I put my voice out there, if I can spread that message, I know it has something of value. So at that point, it was like, you know, let's stop talking about it. Let's put your money where your mouth is. If you feel like you can be so great at this aspect, do it. Don't question yourself. You'll have doubts. You'll have days where you don't want to do it. When I get off a 9 to 5, come here, we hit in the studio. That's number one.
Right.
And that's the dedication of the show towards it, you know, with anything in life. If you want it, you got to put in the time, the effort, the sweat, the tears, the withdrawals, the achievements, and that's what comes with it.
Right.
So it really just depends. But for me, my biggest thing is I feel like I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself. Like, you know, I'm my harshest critic.
Right.
And so when it comes at the end of the day, if I listen to a song, I'm like, you know what? I could have done better. Or I'm writing something, or I could write better something than that. I can. I know I can. So it's just proving a lot, again, to myself a lot of times. I mean, really, I could release music and say I just make it just for fans, but at the end of the day, I make it for fans that are going to feel the message that I'm spreading. And again, number one, I like the music that I make. So that's number one.
Right. Awesome. So I know that you kind of said that you have a little bit of a team, and you were mentioning somebody, if I wasn't mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, kind of tell me about all of that you've got going on with that.
Yeah, so Zoe kind of touched on it earlier. You know, first one I met was Enzo. Like I said, we used to work together at the job I work at now, and we literally started talking about music. We were talking about Kanye West albums, and I think Life of Pablo had just come out, and we was like, this album's not that bad. He's like, it's all right. You know, Graduation was better, and it's like it was true because like he was like, can you spit any rhymes from Life of Pablo compared to Graduation or Late Registration? I was like, damn, he's right. And that was our first interaction together. Like, I purely met him by chance working night shift at a job. We have Rudy, like I said, man's amazing with the lens, the things he can do with the camera. It's makes me look good. So I can't. I think so as well. The lights, you know, it's the skin, you know, it's the melanin. My boy, you know. Like, the man is uber talented. Sometimes I gotta remind him of that. He's uber talented. So it's like, he usually does our mix and mastering. The man has a great ear for music. My boy Mel, like you say, is more the more business side. Keeping it like, hey, we gotta attend these schedules. This on schedule. You guys want this? What you gotta do? You know, be on time. And it's like he's kind of like the one that reels us in. You know.
Right,
so you know, it's him. And then you know, my boy Edwin. He actually dropped a single, Insomnia. Definitely check it out. It's a cool song. It's like, you know, we have so many different aspects to it. And the thing is, I think the thing that I love about our core is the fact that we may have different experiences, but we all are setting the same goal of being successful. And that's number one.
Right. I mean, with with the team that you guys have, like, do you feel like you guys kind of like, because I don't know if you've ever heard, but when you surround yourself with
Like-minded people.
with like-minded people, like you want to be able to find people that kind of help
Exactly.
boost up your weaknesses where you're not really able to kind of, because you should always want to work more on your strengths than your weaknesses, even though that's important.
Yeah.
But being able to find other people that kind of help do that. How like, do you kind of feel like you have that support
Exactly,
with your
man.
team?
That's one thing is if one of us drops a song, a single, whatever we're doing, we make sure to support each other in our own endeavors. Because when Enzo's successful, I'm successful. When Nito's successful, I'm successful. We draw our own successes from each other as well as the things we do individually. I can't even say we do things individually. We're always together working on the next project, working on how can we make this better? How can we make this sound better? Oh, Rudy's got some shoot going or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Willis did the shoot for my first album, EP, mixtape, as you may want to call it. But it's kind of working on those things, man. And it's like we'll hear a sound or share something. Literally last night we did my track list for my album, and it was like having the ears in the room to kind of have a better set of the track list and the flow and stuff like that. So it's like the things that our weaknesses, we understand what those are. But the thing is, the great thing is about that, with how much we interact with each other, our strengths always come into play as well. So there's never going to be a point or a day where we're not on the same page with being successful because we're looking out for each other as well as our own best interests as well.
Right. So kind of moving forward, I know that you said that you've been just kind of doing this for about 7-8 months already, and I know that you have a team. Do you just kind of see like yourself kind of like staying in a team but like being more solo, or do you like eventually kind of want to like move into like having a business partner to kind of work with?
That's a great question. That's a great question. For me, it's a sense of loyalty and understanding of the people that you rise with. Right. It's easy. I can easily, let's say, when we become successful, just kind of blow up, and it's like, oh, I want to have this manager because I heard he's the best and things like that. But you see all these different stories of artists who have all these millions of dollars and they get screwed over by somebody in the business. For me, I have trust in the people that I work with, and that's the number one thing. That's a good thing that you need to have, because if not, what are we doing? Right. For me, we're all, don't get confused, we're all independent artists. But the fact is, we have a camp. It's our camp. That's what's number one. So like I said earlier, when one's successful, we're all successful. Right. It's drawing on those things. Again, like I said, Enzo's a solo artist. I'm a solo artist. Edwin's a solo artist. Rudy, he's a solo artist when it comes to the lens and the pictures and the video. My boy Nito does, his independent thing, as well as, him mixing, mastering and things like that. But I think the biggest thing for me, at least for me, it's staying on with those people that have held you down, who respect you, know what you've gone through because they've been there with you. Right. So that's what means most to me. So man, I stay loyal to those who've been loyal to me, and so then I said I signed a $5 million contract tomorrow. My boy's coming with me. Yeah. So that's just what it is, man.
Yeah, for sure. What's your preferred like platform of social media, other than what you use for your music, of course, like what you want to use as far as like to promote your content, like just kind of like what your daily platform go to.
So me and Zoe had conversations. I post a lot sometimes, so I had to like take a step back. He's like, you post helpfully, that type of stuff now. But so with Facebook, my real name, William Nixon, you can find me at any time. And Instagram, Willy Graves _801. You can find me on there as well. I don't have a Twitter. I feel like I need to get one, but I might adapt to that as well. But right now, man, it's Facebook, Instagram. That's pretty about it. Like I said, you look up on Spotify, Willy Graves, look up Dependent on Me. It's a nice track. You'll love it. But the fact is, man, just kind of Instagram and Facebook, man. Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook. Nice. Awesome. So kind of like moving back into this kind of like deep value, here, kind of like what trials have you, been through like thus far, even though that you've, haven't been doing this for, a full year yet, like, is there anything that's, that you've been able to overcome? But yeah, on the flip side, has there been anything that you're just like, is this still worth, pursuing?
I think the biggest thing is, we touched on it. Like, I've been doing this seriously, let's say 7 or 8 months. You have Zoe who's been doing this for years. Nito who's been doing this for years. Edwin's been doing this for years. For me, I'm just kind of like the new guy into the fold doing music. And I'll be real, kind of like the first couple of times seeing them like, go through a take and finish like the first take, just knock it out.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here doing like 10, 12, 15. And I'm like, damn, like, what do I do? So you start building that nervousness, man. And I even talked to Enzo about it. And it's like, they get boys, oh no, man, it's good. But in the reality, you're like, damn, man, I'm like 15, 16, I did it in one. And it's kind of having that, I think I have a saying like, you can either become discouraged or you can become determined, man. I've never been discouraged. I can never be discouraged with things just because of things I've been through in life. So I got determined. I was like, you know what? Let me start doing this, be more dedicated to my craft, and see what I can do. The other day we were talking before, and I said I was so happy when I got my first track, just first take down, one time, done it. And I was like, yo, once I knew at the beginning I could do this, but the fact is I was seeing that progression when it comes to my craft. And
right,
so
right.
That was definitely something hard to kind of overcome. But yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can tell, like, you just, you seem like a really positive person, just like, from, when I like walked in the door, just like your personality, I could tell like you're that kind of, positive person, which is good.
Yeah, thanks.
It's always good to be, optimistic. Because that like it will draw people
like I said, man,
that's value to you, and
that's with anything in life,
that's
though,
important.
man. And in your darkest moments, your shadow will leave you. You gotta be the one. You gotta be your biggest cheerleader sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, but you know what? Like I said, I've never been discouraged in anything I've ever done in life. It's only made me that more determined to succeed, and so.
Right. What's one piece of advice that you give to yourself, even though that you're, still kind of new now, experiencing, what you've been through, more like what's something that you tell yourself, when you just first started out, with what you know now?
Go at your own pace, man. There's no rush. Like, absorb everything, go at your own pace, and have a goal in mind. With me, like I said, I just love music, so I just want to do music. There were so many times I hit up Enzo and I didn't have like a SoundCloud because I didn't think about stuff like that. So kind of having like that preemptive checklist, the things that I should do before actually putting music out. Like I didn't have a SoundCloud, I didn't have a YouTube channel, nothing, man. So just kind of like that checklist to make sure that I'm doing everything to, first of all, get the exposure and make sure everybody, hey, this dude does music. Let's give him a listen. Having those different platforms. So I just say having those different platforms already opened, preemptively checklist to make sure you're going to be able to get your sound out there.
Awesome. So to kind of finally wrap things up here, because we are at about 25 minutes or so, what aspect of yourself do you want to keep in like your future endeavors?
Just walking righteous, man. I just want to make sure I always do the things that, and with the values that I was instilled within me to always consider, to always make sure that I'm doing the things that are best for me, those that love me, and those for my family and my friends and stuff like that. So just having that in mind, do with dignity, be righteous about it, and do whatever is going to make you happy at the same time.
Right.
I can drop my EP tomorrow and 5 people listen to it. And you know what? For me, hey, that's 5 more than I had yesterday.
Right.
So it's kind of like, there's going to be those lessons, those growing pains and things like that. But for me, at the end of the day, man, just stay righteous, man. Just doing everything you can to be successful and just being righteous, man. Being righteous.
Awesome. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. Willy, if you want to go ahead and share again, just kind of how people can reach you through social media. And then what was your date that you were dropping your...
Absolutely, man. So November 11th, the EP album mixtape is entitled Heavy, as you can see. Go and check it out. You'll love it. If not, your mama gonna love it. If she don't love it, your auntie gonna love it. If she don't, call your uncle. He definitely love it. Either way, I appreciate the love. Willie Nixon on Facebook, Willy Graves _801 on Instagram, Spotify, Apple, whoever got a Zoom. I don't know, but possibly might be on there. Y'all be easy.
I don't even think that platform's still so, anyways, you guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, if this has provided any kind of value, please share it, not only for myself, but for him more. And so, thank you. And I will catch you guys later, Willie.
All right, G. I appreciate
Appreciate
the love, man.
it.
I appreciate you, man.
And we'll catch you guys later.